Now confirmed, Leonor marries Prince Christian in Copenhagen. For centuries, royal weddings have carried the same expectation, grandeur, duty, and protocol. The world watches, anticipating predictable elegance. But this time, something completely different has unfolded. Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark have confirmed their marriage in Copenhagen, and it is not just another royal union, it is a love story rewriting Europe's history. And here is the truth that few expected. Behind the diamonds, the ceremonies, and the centuries-old traditions lies a decision driven not by politics or arrangement, but by choice. Two young heirs, daring to marry not for alliance, but for love. The announcement electrified both Spain and Denmark. In Madrid, newspapers splashed Leonor's image across their front pages, declaring her readiness to step into destiny. In Copenhagen, the streets lit up with banners, Danish and Spanish flags entwined. And across Europe, whispers grew louder. What will this marriage mean for the future of monarchy itself? To understand why this union is so profound, we must begin with the bride herself. Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, has been watched from birth. Every move, every speech, every gesture dissected. To the public, she is the embodiment of tradition and the future Queen of Spain. Yet those who know her describe something different, a young woman with quiet strength, determination, and a deeply private heart. Prince Christian, heir to Denmark, mirrors that journey. Raised in the shadow of Queen Margrethe and Crown Prince Frederik, he has lived a life balanced between duty and modernity. His charm has often been captured by cameras, but his close circle reveals his seriousness, his sense of responsibility, and his genuine affection for Leonor that has grown quietly through the years. When the confirmation of their wedding came, it was not wrapped in cold, political language. Instead, the announcement carried warmth. It spoke of partnership, of shared futures, of commitment to each other and to their nations. This tone, personal, loving, human, shocked many, because it felt like something monarchies rarely reveal: vulnerability. And then the world began to imagine. How will Copenhagen look on that day? What dress will Leonor wear, and how will it reflect the weight of Spain's history while honoring Denmark's traditions? How will Christian carry himself, not just as a groom, but as a future king standing beside his queen? Each question sparked another, and curiosity only grew stronger. The ceremony itself promises to blend the extraordinary with the intimate. Imagine the streets of Copenhagen lined with thousands, waiting as carriages roll over ancient cobblestones. Imagine church bells echoing across the city as dignitaries from every European royal house arrive: British, Norwegian, Swedish, Dutch, each step filled with subtle messages of alliance and friendship. Yet at the heart of all the grandeur will be one image: Leonor and Christian, meeting at the altar, eyes fixed not on the crown, but on each other. And yet, with every wedding comes tension. Behind palace doors, decisions must be made. Seating arrangements carry political undertones. Guest lists hint at alliances and rivalries. Even the music chosen can reflect centuries of history. But here, Leonor and Christian have insisted on something different. Reports suggest they are involved personally, making choices that reflect them, not just their titles. A Spanish hymn here, a Danish folk song there, woven together to symbolize unity. The emotional weight of the day extends beyond the couple. For King Felipe VI, walking his daughter down the aisle will be a moment of pride, but also of surrender. For Queen Letizia, the emotion is layered, her daughter stepping into love and duty, carrying the hopes of a nation. On the Danish side, Crown Prince Frederik and Crown Princess Mary prepare to embrace Leonor as family, not just as royalty, bridging two dynasties with grace. And what of the public? For ordinary citizens of Spain and Denmark, this wedding is more than ceremony. It is a moment of hope, a reminder that royalty can reflect the people they serve. Crowds will not just gather for the spectacle, but for the feeling of joy, of unity, of being part of a story larger than themselves. The reception, too, carries symbolism. Spanish wines paired with Danish seafood, speeches alternating between Spanish and Danish, toasts that blend humor with history. King Felipe may speak of legacy. Queen Letizia may recall Leonor's childhood. And then Christian himself, likely standing tall but with emotion in his voice, declaring his love not just as a prince, but as a man. Yet perhaps the most powerful moment will come after the official ceremony's end. Tradition dictates a balcony appearance, a kiss, a wave to the crowd. But those who have watched Leonor and Christian know they may go further. Perhaps they will step closer to the people, as they did during their engagement appearances, holding hands, smiling, letting the world see the raw humanity beneath the crown. This marriage, then, is not just about continuity of monarchy. It is about transformation. It asks us, what does it mean to be royal in the 21st century? Can two heirs marry for love while still carrying centuries of duty? Can they show vulnerability and remain symbols of stability? Leonor and Christian are answering yes, with every step they take together. And so, as October in Copenhagen approaches, the world holds its breath. Not simply to witness a wedding, but to watch history bend ever so slightly toward love. When Leonor takes her father's arm, when Christian reaches for her hand, when vows are exchanged in the glow of cathedral light, the noise of politics, duty, and expectation will fade. All that will remain is a promise. A promise between two young heirs, written not in treaties or alliances, but in love. Because this marriage, now confirmed, is not just a headline. It is a declaration that even within the most gilded traditions, there is space for humanity. That the future of monarchy may not rest in rigid duty, but in the simple courage of two people daring to love each other openly. And long after the bells stop ringing, long after the carriages have rolled away, long after the crowds disperse, the memory of this day in Copenhagen will endure. It will not be remembered as a marriage of crowns, but as the union of two hearts strong enough to carry both love and history together.